Hey guys, welcome back. I have a video today for you about reverse meal planning. I am sitting down to do our meal plan right now, and I thought I would take you along with me and show you how I'm doing it differently, because right about now is when you would see me doing a big grocery haul for the month and sitting down and planning out the meals that we want to have for the month of April. However, it's a lot different now. So my mom and I went to Sam's Club a couple of days ago, and that's our last time in the stores, like, until this is over. We have plenty of food in the house, but probably like many of you, I just had to take what I could get when I was there. There was no plan, there was no nothing. So I just tried to get the basics. I'm trying to make our meat stretch as far as I can, and we're mixing it in with a lot of carbs and stuff. That's not how we prefer to eat, but we don't have a ton of meat on hand, and that was one of the harder things to get at the grocery store. So I'm not gonna sit down with my cookbooks because it's kind of pointless, because I will need lots of ingredients that I don't have to follow specific recipes. So I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to find my favorite app or website that will let me plug in the ingredients I have and then spit me out a recipe. So I'm going to do a little research on that, and then come back and tell you which one I'm going to use. Alright, the one I decided to use is called Supercook, and I downloaded the app because it has a little microphone button that you can push and you can talk your ingredient list into it, and then it will spit recipes out to you. So I'm in the process right now. I always keep a good pantry inventory, but that would be your first step, is to go and inventory everything you have. Write down the amounts. I have what's in my pantry, what's in my freezer, and then normally I don't keep track of what's in my refrigerator, but I did this time so that I make sure that I have all the ingredients in there, so that when it is trying to generate recipes for me, it will be accurate. Like, I'll have butter and I'll have milk and all those sorts of things. And don't forget your stuff like flour and yeast and cornmeal and those types of things, because then it will give you some sides as well. So that's what I'm working on right now. Then I'm gonna go pick up Chinese takeout for dinner. We are trying to do our part and keep our little small businesses in town here going. So super sanitary, super safe. I Lysol wipe everything, and Lysol wipe the outside of the container and everything. So that's what I'm gonna go do, and then I am going to finish up probably later on tonight after I get the family all fed. So this is what I am using. Have my meal planner all out. I'm gonna plan a full 26 meals because obviously we are home, and then we're still trying to do our part to eat out, but I don't know how long we'll be able to do that, because we also don't want to go massively over budget either. So I'm gonna plan 26 dinners with the food that I have here, and then I'm also gonna do a bunch of lunch ideas because I'm cooking lunch, every single day basically. Breakfast is just fend for yourself, so I'll just make sure I write down what we have to be able to eat for breakfast, because the kids need ideas sometimes. And then desserts, because they're fun, like always. But I'm going to look up recipes, and then I'm going to start writing them down. This took me a lot longer than it normally does, because I was trying to be very strategic, and I've made myself little notes. Just so, because I'm down to so little meat, I just made myself notes so I don't use up the meat in a different recipe. I do have a whole turkey in my freezer, which is really good. We're gonna have that for Easter, and then I will be able to make multiple different meals out of it. So like turkey pot pie turnovers, and then turkey and rice bake, and I will probably even have some turkey left over, which I could definitely have. I could incorporate that into a lunch or something. But we're gonna have zuppa toscana, and I don't have any Italian sausage, but I am going to use brats. And it might sound gross, but you can squeeze the brats out of their casings and then fry it up just like sausage. And I will just make sure I will put some Italian seasonings in there. I have some frozen kale, and I'll use up the last little bit of my potatoes. So we'll have that one soon. I do have 2 pork tenderloins, so we're gonna have that twice. And this is something that we also don't do. I don't ever repeat recipes in the month because I like variety, but this is what we have. Then I plan on doing the pork tenderloins, and whatever's left over I'm gonna dice up, put back in the freezer, because once you cook something you can put it back in the freezer. And then I'm going to save those 2 leftover bits of pork, put it in the freezer, and then I will make a pork stir fry out of whatever veggies we have left in the refrigerator. Hamburgers with homemade buns. Chicken spaghetti. This is from the Magnolia cookbook, and I'm gonna just see, I just made myself a little note that I'm gonna use rotisserie chicken in that, so I don't use up that chicken for something else. Instapot chicken burrito bowls. I have 2 really large chicken breasts left, and when you mix it with tomatoes and rice and beans and everything, you can get away with just 1 chicken breast, so I'm gonna do that twice. That will use up both of those. Wendy's Copycat Chili, venison vegetable soup, and I do have lots of cans of venison, so we could have that one multiple times if we need to. That I can always fall back on that. Breakfast we're gonna have twice. I did get some bacon and a huge thing of tater tots, so I'll do pancakes, bacon, and tater tots. We'll have that twice. Tater tot casserole we will have. I have a beef roast, so that'll just be beef roast. Probably some homemade bread and whatever veggies I have left. Tacos. Now, we can't do 1 pound of meat for our family anymore. So I just made myself a note that that's where 2 pounds of my ground beef's gonna go. Jambalaya, I have smoked sausage. I don't have any peppers, but I'll just do it with the onions and the seasonings and tomatoes, and it'll have to be good. Szechuan noodles, we had that last month. Everybody really liked it. It was very easy, so I have spaghetti noodles that I can do that again. We will do spaghetti with no meat. We've done this many times, just marinara sauce. Half my kids don't like the sauce anyway, and they just eat the noodles. I have 1 big sirloin steak, so I'm going to make that into steak fajitas. Again, I don't have any peppers, so I will just do it with the onions. Chicken thighs with bacon cream. I found this one through that app I was talking about, Supercook. I'm excited to try that one because I have a giant family pack of chicken thighs, so I will take some of them out for this, and then I will make chicken noodle soup with the chicken thighs. And you can use like the Pioneer Woman's recipe to do that, where you basically simmer really, the chicken thighs, and it makes like this really good bone broth, and then you put everything else into it. I already talked about those. Chicken tortilla soup, I have a little bit of rotisserie chicken, and I will put lots of beans in it, and this is a real brothy soup. And then homemade mac and cheese with hot dogs if we have any left, but we also have had homemade mac and cheese just without any meat in it, and it has plenty of cream and cheese, and so it fills everybody up. That was a stretch for me. That was challenging to do that for sure. I needed 5 or 6 more dinners, and I was really struggling with not having enough meat and trying to come up with some different dinners and stuff, and we are definitely going to be short on veggies if I can't get back to the store. That would be a personal choice I'm trying not to go back to the store until everything's lifted. But of course, if we completely run out of veggies, I'll have to. Let me show you what I kind of did for some lunch ideas and different things. And then this makes me feel a lot better to have this done, and I have a plan for the food that I have in the house so that we don't get into things that I need for dinners and such. But it makes me feel better having a plan, just because it's just weird. It's just weird right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, here's just some breakfast stuff. I did homemade cinnamon rolls, and I have plenty of flour. But I mean, obviously, this is not how we normally eat. I don't ever go through this much flour or whatever. Jason's birthday is happening during this, which is a bummer, but I'm gonna make his mom's Irish potato cake. So I need to remember to save some potatoes because it calls for mashed potatoes. It's really good. So lunch ideas, I don't know that we're gonna have any leftovers. Sometimes we have leftovers from dinner. So most of the time we will eat leftovers if there are any, but there's hot dogs, frozen pizza, pizza rolls. I make this Instapot mac and cheese, which is really good and fast. Chicken and fries and corn dog. We have tuna for tuna fish. I have a little bit of chicken pot pie filling frozen in the freezer, so somebody could have that over toast. And then I did save this from last month, so I have this really good creamed corn spoon bread. We're gonna save that for Easter. I made really good soft pretzels. I will link that recipe below. It is really, really good. And then I have everything to make hummus, but I don't really have veggies to dip it in, so maybe we'll dip crackers in it or something. Risotto, rice-a-roni, peas, frozen broccoli, and I do have a couple things of stuffing that we can have for Easter. So really we're having Thanksgiving dinner for Easter, which seems kind of fitting for this weird time that we're in, don't you think? But that is what I came up with. It was challenging, for sure. All right, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know it's not easy right now when you can't find stuff at the grocery store. It just makes it challenging to go in and have a list of ingredients that you need, you know, because you've thought of a recipe and just you can't get everything on your list. So I would just encourage you, try to be creative, try to think outside the box. There's lots of ways to use your meat to stretch it, which is what we're doing. So hope everybody is well and safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.